The sun rose over Jerusalem, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson. A new day began. The air buzzed with anticipation. Crowds thronged the streets, their voices a symphony of excitement. Palm branches swayed, a vibrant green against the ancient stone. This was no ordinary day. This was Palm Sunday. The week began with shouts of joy, echoing through the narrow streets. It ended in stunned silence, shrouded in darkness and sorrow. In those 7 days, the course of history shifted. A carpenter from Nazareth, a man named Jesus, walked towards his destiny, changing the world forever. The story of Holy Week is a tapestry of triumph and tragedy, woven with threads of love, sacrifice, and ultimately, hope. It is a story that continues to resonate across cultures and centuries, offering solace, inspiration, and a promise of new beginnings. Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, a humble king for a kingdom not of this world. Crowds cheered, laying down their cloaks and palm branches in his path. "Hosanna," they cried. "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Prophecy was fulfilled. Yet within a week these same voices would fall silent, replaced by whispers of fear and confusion. What happened? What changed the hearts of those who had welcomed him as a king? The next day, Jesus entered the temple courts, a place meant to be sacred and filled with reverence. What he saw there filled him with deep anger and sorrow. Merchants loudly hawked their wares, their voices echoing through the holy courts, turning a place of worship into a bustling marketplace. With righteous indignation, Jesus strode forward and overturned the tables, sending coins clattering across the stone floor and animals scattering in confusion. He stood tall and declared with a powerful voice, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations, but you have made it a den of thieves, corrupting its purpose and robbing it of its holiness." This dramatic act was a powerful symbol of Jesus' unwavering commitment to justice, compassion, and the sanctity of his Father's house. The common people watched in awe, inspired by his courage, while the religious elite burned with anger at this public challenge to their authority. Their hearts, hardened by greed and the desire for power, began to plot in secret against him, determined to silence his message. The following days were a whirlwind of teaching and debate. Jesus spoke with authority, challenging the hypocrisy of the religious leaders. He told parables, stories rich in meaning, revealing truths about God's love and the human condition. "I am the way, the truth, and the life," he proclaimed. "No one comes to the Father except through me." But even as he spoke, shadows lengthened. Judas, one of his own disciples, met in secret with the chief priests, betraying his teacher for 30 pieces of silver. On Thursday evening, Jesus gathered with his disciples for a final meal. He broke bread, shared wine, and spoke of love and sacrifice. "This is my body given for you," he said, offering them the bread. "Do this in remembrance of me." Then, in an act of profound humility, he washed their feet, a servant leader demonstrating the true meaning of love. Sorrow filled the room, a heavy silence punctuated by Jesus' words, "One of you will betray me." Later that night, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed, his soul overwhelmed with anguish. "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me," he cried out. "Yet not my will, but yours be done." His disciples, exhausted, slept nearby, unaware of the spiritual battle raging within their master. Judas arrived leading a band of soldiers and betrayed Jesus with a kiss. The hour of darkness had begun. Friday dawned, heavy with the promise of unimaginable cruelty and sacrifice. The city of Jerusalem awoke, unaware that this day would become one of the most significant in all of history, a day marked by pain, injustice, and profound love. Jesus endured a sham trial where false accusations and jeers filled the air. He was mocked and beaten mercilessly by Roman soldiers, stripped not only of his dignity, but of any semblance of justice. They pressed a crown of thorns onto his head, each thorn digging into his flesh, a cruel symbol of scorn and derision meant to humiliate and inflict even greater suffering. Forced to carry his own cross through the winding, crowded streets of Jerusalem, he stumbled under its immense weight. His body, already racked with pain, trembled with exhaustion, yet he pressed on, step by agonizing step. On a barren hill called Golgotha, just outside the city walls, they crucified him. The sky darkened, as the world seemed to hold its breath. Nailed to a rough wooden cross, he hung in agony between two criminals, his life ebbing away with each passing moment. "Father, forgive them!" he cried out, his voice trembling with pain and compassion, for they do not know what they are doing. Even in his suffering, he offered forgiveness. In that moment of ultimate suffering, Jesus' love for humanity shone brighter than ever, illuminating the darkness and offering hope to all who would listen. Saturday arrived, a Sabbath of silence and sorrow. The world seemed to hold its breath. Jesus' followers hid, their hopes shattered, their dreams seemingly buried in a tomb sealed with a stone. Fear gripped their hearts. What now? What had become of their teacher, their friend, their Messiah? The silence was deafening, the future uncertain. Yet unbeknownst to them, the seeds of hope had already been sown. The greatest miracle was yet to come. Sunday morning dawned, painting the sky with the soft hues of a new beginning. The city of Jerusalem slowly awakened, its ancient stones bathed in gentle light, as if the world itself was holding its breath in anticipation of something miraculous. Mary Magdalene, her heart heavy with grief and loss, made her way through the quiet streets to the tomb where Jesus had been laid. Each step was filled with sorrow, her mind replaying the events of the past days. To her astonishment, the massive stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. In that moment, confusion and fear gave way to wonder. Jesus was alive. The impossible had happened before her very eyes. He had conquered death itself, fulfilling his promise of resurrection and offering new life to all who believe in him. The darkness of despair was replaced by the radiant light of hope. The news spread like wildfire among his followers, igniting a flame of hope that would illuminate the world for generations to come. Joy and amazement filled their hearts as they realized the meaning of this miracle. The story of the last 7 days of Jesus' life is not just a historical account written on ancient scrolls or remembered in tradition. It is a timeless message of love, sacrifice, and hope, a message that speaks to the deepest longings of the human heart. This story continues to resonate with people across continents and cultures, offering forgiveness, redemption, and the promise of eternal life. It invites us all to share its message, to embrace its hope, and to let it shape our lives. Let the hope of Easter fill your heart, renew your spirit, and transform your life with the promise of new beginnings.